What is up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. As always, I hope everyone's having a fantastic day, boys and gals. The crypto market is in free fall. Bitcoin struggling, Ethereum struggling. Ethereum's definitely on edge. Altcoins are bleeding out the wazoo right now. Fear is everywhere. But what's really happening, folks? And how can you actually protect yourself? Stay with me because this could be a very important video for your portfolio. But of course, as always, we're having fun, guys. It is Wednesday, my dude, so let's hit them with the Wednesday, folks. Let's hit them early with the toads.
It is Wednesday, my dude. It is Wednesday, my dude. It is Wednesday, my dudes.
All right. We're back at it again, guys. As always, I hope everyone is having a fantastic day. As I stated just moments ago, it looks like Bitcoin has crashed a total so far as of roughly about 15%, 13%, somewhere in that ballpark. Ethereum's down roughly in the ballpark of about 20%, and altcoins, well, fuck, guys, let's just say they're swimming in blood right now, right? There's a sea of red happening in altcoins. The crash has been triggered by several different factors: rising interest rates, regulatory crackdown, panic selling, especially in our ecosystem. Panic selling is probably the biggest factor of it all right now. People are just fearful of everything. And whenever there's a lot of uncertainty in the market, well, shit, let's just say there's going to be a ton of red to see as well. But of course, is this just another dip in the cycle? Can we expect more? Do we see more happening? Let's gonna dive in on this video. I see Academaciated in the house. What's up? I see Atlantean in the house. Salute to y'all. I hope everyone, as always, is having a fantastic day. I know looking at the charts can sometimes be dreadful, so why not cause ourselves a little bit of pain by looking at the charts? Am I right? Let's take a look over here real fast. What's up, Retrospect? Let's take a look at some charts, guys. Let's just cause ourselves some pain today because, you know, why not, right? So this is Bitcoin sitting right here again, hitting an all-time high, roughly about $108,000 and some change, down roughly about 15%, right? We got to see a 15% dip. It did start to recover. It did start to rally, broke through that 100,000 barrier once again. And I've seen this formation before, folks. Whenever you get a formation like the Twin Towers that we're seeing right here, it tends to lead to more pain in the market. So this is on a daily candle wick right now. On the weekly candle wick, I mean, heck, guys, it doesn't look any crazier as well. We actually almost got to see that Twin Tower candle right here happening on the weekly candle right now. So again, this typical trade setup, if I was to look at this from a TA perspective, means there's more blood in the streets, and it doesn't just affect our ecosystem. For the RH ecosystem, it actually affects the entire crypto ecosystem, because right now you can see Ethereum doesn't look much better, right? They've actually had quite a bit of blood as well. I mean, heck, it actually excuse me, it actually just recently dipped, yeah, roughly around 22%, right? Down roughly about 20% right now. From its local high. Again, hadn't even broken its all-time high. It's having a very tough time breaking out of and above this $4,000 mark, right? $4,100. It seems to be a struggle bus right now whenever I'm looking at this particular chart. So what does all of this actually mean, right? What does it actually entail? What's going on? Of course, guys, I understand for new investors, for someone who just got in, especially into the hype phase as well, Bitcoin reaching $100,000, Ethereum starting to go back up. Our ecosystem, for our RH ecosystem, is having green candles. We hit 20% day back to back on a couple of our candles, and it was absolutely incredible. This all happened really in November, right? November was a pretty darn bullish month for us in the crypto landscape. And now we're starting to see that red, right? Everyone's like, I thought January was supposed to be a bullish month in crypto. And it typically is. But oftentimes when the crowd likes to go one way, the market likes to humble everybody and go the opposite way. So we're kind of seeing this again right now, because to someone new to this ecosystem and crypto and specifically in particular, it feels like a nightmare, man. It feels like every time you buy, the prices go down. It feels like every single time you purchase or want to do something, or you start feeling happy about your portfolio, prices start going away and slipping away faster than you could even have enjoyed that happiness, right? I mean, it oftentimes lasts sometimes even just a month or less. It is crazy how fast some things can go. But for experienced traders and for someone who has been around this ecosystem for some time, it's a harsh flashback to what actually happens every single cycle previously. You begin to rally up, you get a crash down, you begin to rally up some more, you get a crash down, and oftentimes in a bull run, you typically see somewhere in the ballpark of 6 major dips. This can actually occur for a multitude of reasons. You can always go back and look at every single cycle previously to this, and it often ends up being 6 major dips that happen throughout that cycle. Now in Bitcoin, a major dip is roughly around 30%. Nothing too crazy, but that is kind of where the major dip is happening with Bitcoin. With Ethereum, it's roughly around 50 to 60% dips, but in altcoin world, folks, in altcoins, you can sometimes see a dip of 60, 70, 80 and even 90% dips, because damn, it fucking hurts sometimes. And I'm telling y'all, I'm right there with you, right? Because the truth is, crashes are part of the cycle, man. They're brutal, absolutely brutal, especially if you've just deployed some capital. You've just spent the money that you've been working for. You've put in some time, labor, hours. So you basically traded your time for some dollars. You then put those dollars into crypto because you're like, hey, I want a faster way out of this life. And I definitely can see crypto being that way. And then all of a sudden prices start tanking and you're like, well, that basically just wiped out a week or a month or 2 weeks of work that I've been putting forward in the span of hours, if not days. Sometimes it can happen so quickly, it can absolutely be brutal. But they also do create opportunities for those of y'all who know where to look, know where to stay grounded. You see every dip as a buying opportunity because you still look forward into the future saying, hey, this absolutely sucks. I've been buying this whole time. Prices have really gone nothing but down at this point in time. What should I do next? And for those people who stay grounded, stick to a plan, those are oftentimes the people rewarded. This is when people will start now trading out of their tokens. They start getting out of their crypto. They start looking for maybe the next new shiny object. And just recently in our ecosystem, I think all of y'all got to see that happen as well. There was a new project launch. It did a absolutely horrible job on the launch. That launch cost roughly around $7 million of investors' money because it was a failed protocol from the start. It was promoted a lot by shillfluencers who were out there trying to get you to click on their referral links and get you to deposit your own capital because it's the new shiny thing, guys. And unfortunately, not only did they lose all their money, but they also lost all the people's investors' money as well. And yeah, guys, that's fucking brutal. Because that's essentially, here's what sucks about it all, right? So like the reason why it sucks the most is because those people who got into that particular token, and this doesn't just pertain to this token, this is any new token launch. Anyone who gets into a brand new token launch is oftentimes wanting to get in to make some money, right? Makes sense. We're here for the dollars. We're here for the bread. But when they put that capital in and they put that money to work, or should I say they put that capital in, oftentimes they're doing it so that way they can possibly do a quick flip. Meaning, if it does a 2x in the span of a couple of days, they can recoup their initial capital and get out and just go back to living life. If it does more than a 2x, 4x, 5x, or even 10x, then they can actually start selling that particular token, so maybe they don't have to sell their core tokens. What sucks about this whole scenario is all those people who got into that particular recent project that absolutely failed at the launch, now they don't even have that capital to be able to sell. They actually lost it all because it damn near went down 100%. They actually now need to sell their core tokens as well, and it often causes a terrible feedback loop, if you actually ask me, where it actually ends up causing the price to go lower, thereby people panic, thereby people sell some more, Thereby people see some random FUD event, and all of it takes is just an emotional decision for you to say, I'm out, this isn't what I wanted, or I need to get the money because I've been waiting so long, I really want to recoup my money, I really got to start paying my life, I got expenses to pay, and maybe I don't want to go get a job, and maybe I just want to go and do whatever, right, at this point in time. And because of that, I now have to sell my core capital. And folks, we are seeing that absolutely happening in crypto right now. This is coming from macroeconomic factors such as, of course, the interest rates spooking investors. We saw that when Jerome Powell recently came out on the Fed speech in December and basically shocked the market, basically saying that they may only do 2 rate cuts next year, or should I say at this point in time, this year, because we are now in 2025. Which thereby makes riskier assets like crypto less appealing, right? You see regulatory pressures from the SEC actions, which is absolutely creating uncertainty. We don't know, are we getting a case to dismiss? Are we not getting a case to dismiss? Is the new presidential cabinet gonna come in and be favorable toward crypto? Are they gonna drop all the cases that are out there pending right now with the SEC? Are they not going to? Are they going to actually double down and make sure that they go after the real ones and, you know, finish it or see it till it's finish line type deal? Uncertainty is one of the worst things you can have in the market, and damn, there's a ton of uncertainty right now from rumors of stricter rules, tariffs, all these different things, regulatory pressures coming from different exchanges and DeFi projects, and guys, that sentiment is fear. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt, they are absolutely driving the panic selling right now, right? Add to that major withdrawals, freezing funds or freezing withdrawals yesterday. If y'all haven't heard, again, there was some more people who were trying to get out of their crypto, cashing out into the main world type deal, and the funds were actually frozen on centralized exchanges, causing, you guessed it, a perfect storm for a market sell-off. And folks, we are seeing red in the streets right now. So damn if you do and damn if you don't right now. But what could you actually be doing right now? Like, what should you do? Like, and again, hey guys, by no means am I a financial advisor. Y'all already know this. I'm a talking head on the internet. I'm here in my office. I'm just having some fun. We're here talking about things that I particularly like and just want to share my particular sentiment on certain actions right now. But one of the things that you probably shouldn't do is panic sell. This actually happens very often. I say don't trade on emotions. Emotions will oftentimes get you wrecked, and that happens on the bull market as well. Greed is an emotion, and when you start seeing your portfolio go up and massively go up, actually, as a matter of fact, going from 10,000 to 20 to 50 to 100 to even $500,000, you're gonna feel greed. Tell me you won't, and you'd be lying to yourself, because greed is absolutely gonna be there. And unfortunately, that greed oftentimes prevents you from taking profits appropriately, accordingly to a plan. Because when you have a plan and you can stick to a plan, it's easy to remove the emotion out of the equation. When you have a plan and throw the plan out the window because of emotions, oftentimes you end up getting yourself wrecked. Whether that be not taking profit enough and round tripping that whole sucker, or the opposite, which is sell the red candles. This is why you often hear people say buy buy the dip, right? That kind of thing. But essentially at this point in time, people are selling. People are absolutely selling into the sea of red right now. And you should be buying high, or you should lol. That's what happens oftentimes. You buy high and you sell low because of fear, uncertainty, doubt, and other emotions. But you should be doing the opposite. You should be buying low and selling high. And I know that means that, heck, the prices could go lower. This is where you got to focus on the fundamentals that I've always been, a big fan of as well. Pulse Chain has strong use cases and fundamentals and a pretty strong community. As much as we are broken, we are a pretty damn good, strong community as well. At least the outreach that we have on multiple social media platforms, consistently promoting the good word of Hex, Pulse Chain, and Pulse X. Yes, there have been some bad apples and some bad actors, and every community is kind of filled with those as well. Eventually, we're gonna break a point and reach a part where we kind of escaped the whole bad actors and bad seeds, and you really just have the true believers. I'm sure Ethereum and Bitcoin have all gone through this same thing as well. At one point in time, Bitcoin was just Bitcoin. It then split. That was a massive division back in the day, I think 2017 or somewhere in that ballpark, where it actually split between, you know, Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin. And that division caused a ton of different fear, uncertainty, and doubt moments inside the communities. I think it was even earlier than that. When was Bitcoin, whoops, if I can type, Bitcoin Cash created? Let me just see real fast. I just want to see if I can get that. Yeah, 2017. All right, cool. So I was right there. But that caused massive panic amongst the community, right? And then you actually had Ethereum launch in 2015, and that Ethereum launch caused people to say, hey, I like Ethereum. This could be something new. And then you had the Bitcoin maxis. Oh, don't be diving into all these other altcoins and shit coins and all these other stuff, because Ethereum wasn't the first, but it was one of the better creations that were out there. And, you know, we've been through this as well. Ethereum then had, you know, a fuck ton of projects launch on its ecosystem, and other layer one copies as well created from Ethereum, thereby branching Ethereum's community even further. Which is why when you look at something like the Genesis Ethereum wallet, there are only 3% or less of people who actually have Genesis Ethereum, which is pretty damn low, right? Like that, guys, you got to understand, 3% of something that happened back in 2017. Like, let's just pull that up on screen, as a matter of fact. So this is coming from Dune. This is the ETH Genesis allocation. Roughly about 8,800 people were here being a part of this. Let me actually do something as well and make it so that way I can actually kind of draw on the screen. We're going to try this, see how it works. But there were roughly about 8,800. Whoops, let's just lock that in. There was 8,800 people who were actually given Ethereum when it first launched, right? You can see there was roughly about 72 million ETH distributed, and look how many have already been withdrawn, folks. That is a pretty damn low number, if you ask me. Whoops. Yeah. Well, okay, cool. I got a new little tool that I'm actually figuring out right now. So, okay, cool. So that actually zooms in. Not even sure what that does. Okay, that records. I don't want to do that right now. So we can go ahead and cancel this. Whoops. Yeah. Okay, cool. Still trying to figure this out, folks. I'll get this drawn out and figured out as well. But you can see we actually had roughly about, oh, it's the other way. All right, cool. Let me hide that real fast, lock it in again. Okay, cool. So right there, roughly about 69 million Ethereum have been withdrawn out of 72 million when it was first launched. So let's just kind of see what the calculator tells me how many there actually are right now, right? So like, let's just do some quick math and fun math on this one. Where the heck is my calculator? Oh, there it is. 69, 764, 248 divided by 72, 009, 990. Yep, there's roughly about 3.2 ETH or 3.2% of people still holding Genesis Ethereum, folks. That is a very, very, very low number, right? Like, look, only 2 million ETH, 2.2 million ETH are still actually held inside Genesis wallets. This can also probably be expected to happen inside our ecosystem, right? Like if I'm looking here and just checking this out right now, this is pretty much what I can anticipate, guys. This is only from 2015. So 10 years ago, basically, is what we're talking about, right? You can see the transaction dates of 2015. 2015, right? You can see how many, look at this. They had 1 million Ethereum inside this wallet. They now have 0 inside this wallet. Whoops, not sharing the screen. Oh, you haven't been able to see me drawing this whole time? I mean, that's cool, but makes me a little sad. I had some awesome drawings happening and everything. Yeah, let me actually get some stuff adjusted here. One sec, y'all, one sec. We're gonna move that there. Sure. All right, cool. And then probably move this down, move that up. All right, cool. So now let's see if you can actually see me draw. Bam! All right, there's all my drawings. That makes more sense if you can't tell what I was doing this whole time. But this is essentially what I was talking about right here. 9,300 Ethereum only has 0 now. 9,300 Ethereum only has 0 now. 6,600,000, 933,000 is what I meant to say. 935,000 is what I also meant to say. And 660,000 Ethereum inside the wallet now have 1. There are very few wallets, very few wallets. This is one of the few who started out with 560 Ethereum and they're still holding 243,000 ETH. That's pretty low, guys. That's a pretty damn low number if you ask me, especially when you're talking about these particular cryptos right here, right? So again, as I'm looking at all of this stuff real fast just to check it all out, and as we're seeing it all, it's very common that people are absolutely going to panic sell their way out of the tokens, right? They're gonna escape, they're gonna get out, and they're gonna say like, you know what? It was fun, it was cool, I'm out. And to each their own. But I wouldn't do it in an emotional state. I wouldn't do it. I mean, heck, if you gotta do it out of fear of, you know, not being able to hold on to the capital anymore, then you gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. But oftentimes, if you can just hold on to those particular tokens by staying disciplined, by getting control of your emotions, because emotional decisions, folks, rarely lead to a good outcome in crypto. I'm telling you that much right now. And yes, the market's crashing, but this isn't the end of crypto. Remember that, guys. Like, you have to understand there's this moment when we look at the charts all the time, and it's easy to look at it from a zoomed in perspective, being like, shit is crashing. I was listening to Wonder's stream the other day. Shout out to Crypto Wonder, but I was listening to him the other day, and you know, he was talking about, hey, what if you stepped away from your wallet and didn't come back to look at it for a year now, and you come back and you look at our pulse chain price and you're like, I really would have thought we'd be above SAC. I've said that from the beginning, guys. I didn't think we were gonna dip below SAC, right, when we first launched, and heck, obviously I was wrong there. I thought we were gonna do even crazier things than we have. Heck, I was wrong there. That doesn't mean that I was wrong about actually what the outcome will be. I just got my time frame wrong at this point in time, and it's clear as day. 95% of the ecosystem got their time frame wrong. So really, what are we going to do now, right? We've been here before. We have absolutely been here before. The crash feels catastrophic. It really does. And then you get into an actual bull run stage where prices pump like crazy. I know we're in bull run right now. I get that. I really don't think we're in bull run territory just yet. And the reason why, because nothing's really blowing my mind like right now, right? Appreciate the subscribe. Appreciate. Nothing's like blowing my mind away, being like, holy effing what, dude, this thing did what that token did what? Like, dude, there's gonna be some meme coins that pop up and go crazy, but in terms of the overall crypto landscape right now, I don't think there's been one that's been like, that thing did anything that did way more than I ever thought it would. There's gonna be the quick little 10xers, there's gonna be the quick little 100xers, sure, they exist. But we haven't seen the overall market go freaking wild just yet, right? And so therefore, what I believe is this could be your moment to prepare for actually a full-on bull run 2025. Because every crash in crypto has been followed by a recovery for tokens that actually have long-lasting value. And typically by the Lindy effect, something that lasts longer tends to stick around longer as well. This kind of leads me to believe that, right, like Bitcoin's getting mass adoption, not only from our ecosystem or not only from the crypto ecosystem, right, but now you're seeing governments start to get involved. Not only the governments are starting to get involved, now you're seeing potential other countries start getting involved, and now there's ETFs, and these are all factors that kind of lead that Lindy effect to be true. It's been around long enough, it's proven its resilience long enough at this point in time. And now we just have to wait. Hex is 5 years old already, in my opinion. That is passing the Lindy effect test. Now we just have to wait for it to actually all play out. We've hit the 2021 bull run. What happens in 2025? Because this is where you often see, followed by a massive recovery. Stay calm, stay strategic, guys. That is all that it is. And as always, I got to hit you with another Wednesday, guys.
It is Wednesday, my dude. Wednesday. Wednesday, my dudes. Wednesday.
It is Wednesday, my dudes. It is another day. Today is January 8th of 2025, and holy effing freaking cow, are we going crazy already? Oh my goodness. You know, it's freaking cold here right now, but whatever reason, turn on the lights, start streaming, get my blood flowing like crazy, start sweating. You can see some little glistening already right now. Sweat doesn't really bother me too much, you know, from the times all the time in the Marine Corps and all that good shit as well. You know, Iraq heat absolutely sucked balls like crazy. To all the people who are vets, salute to all my vets as well. Anyways, all good crazy stuff. Speaking of, guys, I just ran a freaking 21-minute 3-mile yesterday. Fire is all can be. I'm actually getting back into that Marine Corps shape type deal where my average was roughly around 19 to 20 minutes for a 3-mile. That's pretty damn good if you ask me. Let me know what your 3-mile is, right? Another thing that I was always sharing too, and it's always interesting to see, is push-ups, man. I started this challenge in 2024 with especially with Pulse Nation peeps. And I said, do 100 push-ups a day, right? Do 100 push-ups a day. And just get off your ass. If that's all you do is 100 push-ups today, you're doing more than most people can ever do, right? Start off small, do 20 if you can't do 100, and then come back the next day, do 20, do next day, do 25, do the next day, do 30, right? So on and so forth, build that way up to 100. But yeah, dude. Oh shit. It says my 3-mile is 55 minutes. Am I X-based? Oh shoot, man, too funny. I'm reading the chat right now, guys. What up to all of y'all? I hope y'all are all having a great day, man. I really do, because like, you know, while the pain sucks, man, like especially on the EHEX price, man, it seemed like every damn day that sucker goes down -10%, -10%, -10%. I'm like, damn, when you gonna stop, fam? When you gonna stop? We got it. We get it, man. We get it. You're angry. We got it, man. We got it. But this is part of the way it works right now. And then I started looking at the overall crypto landscape, and then I was seeing fucking red everywhere, right? So this is where I started seeing everything kind of go crazy. So yeah, dude, the market crash is crazy. The market crashing is absolutely part of what crypto does every single cycle. And you know, it's one of those absolutely items that, guys, it's normal to feel fear. Like, I'm not saying like don't feel emotions and like concrete yourself to be a fucking sociopath or anything crazy, but try to be in control of your emotions as best as you can, because yeah, like I said, it's easy and normal to feel these emotions. Fear is one of the biggest motivators that kind of lead you to do certain things. But guys, the biggest fortunes in crypto are made by those who stayed calm when everyone else is panicking, right? And I've said this in the past, but one of my favorite quotes is from Shia LaBeouf, and he says, "It will all be good in the end, and if it's not all good, then it's not the end." And that's as simple as it. I like to say it right there, guys, because I know it'll all be good in the end. And heck, it's not good right now, so I know it's not the end, right? So stay focused and don't lose sight of your long-term vision, right? Like, remember what got you in. Find your why. Go read the Simon Sinek book, Start With Why. This is one of the reasons that I actually found Hex so captivating. Staking Hex even more captivating. Going out 55-55 on a stake, on a Hex, on mining my own Hex was incredibly like a weight lifted off my shoulder. It was like this moment of this realization that I was focused so much on the short term. And I think a lot of people are doing that right now. They want to get rich this month. They want to get rich next month. And like, I get it. But I think you're going to get rich in the next 6 to 12 months. That's just my guess. But I think that's where the riches are actually made. Like, I know we've been waiting for what feels like forever. For those people who had sacrificed during the 2021 phase for Pulse Chain and PulseX. For those people who have not only sacrificed, but maybe even bought the tops back in 2021, right? Whether it be May, September, or even November of 2021. We've almost came like fucking 3 years already have passed since that time, and you're still kind of down at this point, right? Unless you bought something like Bitcoin, which, you know, to each their own. If you did, for sure, there's been gains that have happened obviously in Bitcoin, but a lot of people are looking for a lot more gains than just a 5x, because even our ecosystem has seen 5x's, and that really didn't do it if you ask me, right? And so just imagine that was the same amount that you had in Bitcoin. Was it enough for you to really get crazy? And a lot of the times the answer is no. And then you start seeing other coins pump, and then you're like, well, I wish I had gone all in on that one. But I feel like if you were going to go in on that token, you would have already gone in on that token, which is why I often don't get mad if I see a token pumping like crazy, because I'm like, if I wanted to be a part of it, I'd find a way to be a part of it. It's as simple as that, right? Whether it be selling my core bag, which I know I wouldn't do, but again, if I wanted to be a part of something, I would, or coming in with fresh capital to go make myself a position in that particular token, you'd find a way to actually be a part of it. It's easy to look back and be like, well, I wish I got in all the way back here, you know, maybe I'll just start buying in now. And the best strategy at that point in time is typically dollar cost averaging, but everyone's got to find their own way at this point in time, because it's just kind of how it goes. But if you're finding this video helpful, we're going to be getting into some charts today. Hit the like button, smash the subscribe, of course, for more insights like this. Share it with friends who potentially need some more clarity in this crypto chaos event that we live in right now. And drop down in the comments when I finish the video, what is your strategy during the crash? I mean, heck, even if you want to share your strategy now with me live on stream, I'll pull it up with everyone once again. Let me go into the chat. Let me say hello to some beautiful people before we start looking at some actual charts happening right now. And I just had to make sure the wife didn't message, because she's out with the pup. We're looking to rehome, so fingers crossed we can get that new home going. Not rehome, it's a foster anyways. I mean, it sound like we're giving away one of our dogs. Heck no, guys. Never would we give away one of our dogs. Let me just make that very crystal clear. But we have a foster, and we're looking to adopt. We're finding a home for that foster to go to. So fingers crossed we get that done. Take a sip of some coffee. What's up, Retrospect? He said, what's good, y'all? Every time I DCA, price drops more. Well, then stop DCAing. Checks my pulse. We need that price to go up. I kid. Congrats on getting in. That's the best way to do it, no matter what, at the end of the day. Because, guys, when it does pump and things actually do go crazy and we actually do get lift off, and, you know, whether it be clarity of what's going on in the ecosystem or the SEC case, or what's going to happen with the government taking over, are they actually setting up a Bitcoin strategic reserve? Are they doing so on and so forth to make rules and regulations a lot more clear for everyone to see? What is actually happening at that point in time? That's when we can go, whatcha, right? And just kind of like really start taking off at that point in time. But hey, that's the best way to do it. Buying more, buying not crying, glory or bust, facts on facts. See me no more says salute. What's up, my friend? I hope you're having a fantastic day. I caught you live again. What is up, Cookie de Chocolata? You actually were one of the first people who, you know, enjoyed my content when I first started streaming back in 2022. So it's already been a few years, right? Since I've actually been, I guess now at this point in time, a couple of years. So appreciate all the love and support for, you know, help grow the channel as well, for the comment, for the views, for the likes, for the shares, for the comments. All that good stuff as well. What's up, Crypto Compassion? I hope you're having a fantastic day. Crypto Incognito, what's up in the house? What's up? Great to see you all. Atlantean checks my pulse. Absolutely. Team RH Intrepid Pulse X says ATX. He's actually a YouTube subscriber as well. Appreciate the subscription. Along with the YouTube subscription, you actually get access to the Patreon group, Patreon, Telegram, spreadsheets, profit taking, and a whole bunch of other stuff as well. So if you want to join, you can find the link to join the membership down below in YouTube, or you can go over to patreon.com/ATXCrypto. Enjoy the content that actually pops up there as well. Because again, we've actually got a lot going on. We do a stream every single week looking at all the different charts, whether it be just keeping an eye on the prize and keeping focused, or coming out with actual profit-taking strategies, or coming up with just potential money-making strategies as well. Patreon.com/ATXCrypto. Link is down in the description below. So appreciate all the subscriptions as well. Prospector in the house. Good morning, GM. What's up? LFG. Absolutely. What's up, RGS? Fred B in the house. Atlantean, yep. Pimp Barbecue Sauce. What's cooking in the kitchen? What's happening, my boy? It's coming. I like 55 hex steaks. I also like 55 hex steaks. And in fact, I just made another one the other day because why not? Like, my stake ended. I wasn't needing the hex at this point in time, but I've also been DCAing a position in hex as well. I accumulated enough hex to send it out 55-55, and I'll see it in the future, right? So my future self may end up thanking me, but at this point in time, it wasn't anything crazy. It's not like I was gonna be like, oh my God, that money could have gone to such better use than what I'm doing right now. I'm willing to take a risk. And, you know, I've looked at the numbers. I've played it out on stream multiple times as to why 55-55 stakes are pretty damn good as well. And because, again, as Albert Einstein once said, compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. So as you have your stakes going for you, you're actually mining your own hex every single day. And then when you have people who are weak-handed or who just want to get out of the ecosystem, right, they actually go about selling their positions, and that's cool. It just allows you the ability to you know, get into even better of a position as well. Yeah, let's just pull up some items real fast. Give me one sec over here. Hexdailystats.com is going to be my first one. And yeah, let's just kind of see what the actual prices are doing right now on these particular items, right? Are people panicking? Are stakers panicking? And I don't believe so, right? We've seen this before so many times, but while the prices are going down, it looks like people aren't ending their stakes any earlier, which is a smart thing for those stakers to be able to do. But yeah, I mean, when I'm looking at it from this perspective, just seeing how everything's all playing out as well, nothing is getting too crazy right now. So let's just go here and yeah, it's good enough. And here. So whenever we are seeing these particular items pulled up right here, we have today's Ethereum hex price as well. We have the hex price sitting at 2 zeros and a 4. We have the T-share price. To get a T-share right now, it costs roughly about $147 US at this time. To get an actual T-share, it's going to cost you roughly about 39,814 hex. Just to keep that in mind. And so as you actually stake it out, every single T-share that you get, you can actually get paid out additional hex per T-share. So if you get yourself a 10 T-share stake, for example, then it would cost you roughly about 390,000 hex to get that done, to get 10 T-shares. Now, keeping that in mind, that would get you roughly about 74 hex every single day on average as it stands right now. And there are days where it actually ends up costing or ends up benefiting you so much more, right? You can actually end up getting days of 20, 30, or even 40% payout per T-share. On the Pulse Chain side right now, we have the current hex price sitting at right now roughly about 1.4 cents. Again, in order to get that T-share, it's going to cost you roughly about $558. What I enjoy about the difference between Pulse Chain and Hex on Ethereum right now, and the difference between them together, is if you are actually staking your Hex, you get so many more T-shares on the Ethereum network. I understand gas fees can be a bitch. I understand it's all a possibility of what's actually going to be likely to happen as well. And I get that. I understand it as well. I'm right there with you. But if you do stake it out long, you actually have the ability to earn that much more, roughly about 4 times more hex per T-share just by getting a stake on the Ethereum network. It doesn't hurt to go about doing both, in my personal opinion, but that's just me. That's just my personal opinion, right? You do whatever you feel like works best for you. To get a hex or to get a T-share over on the Pulse Chain network, it's going to be roughly about 39,553 hex, and that payout per T-share today is right now sitting at 7.35. So I can see how all these are actually all playing out. There haven't been too many penalties. If I actually look at them together right now, there's really not that many penalties at all. And what I like about it too is you can actually see this payout per T-share. There are days where you end up getting, you know, this payout per T-share roughly about 8 hex per T-share, 8.3 hex per T-share. This is pretty damn good. And right now we're seeing basically an average payout per T-share somewhere in the ballpark of like 7.6 right now. Payout per T-share 7.5, which by the way, whenever I first started staking my hex, it was roughly around like 5.2, 5.3, and you know, it kept going up from there. And now you're getting an average of roughly about 7.5 hex per T-share. I anticipate that's only going to continue as well. So by next year, we're looking to get roughly about 8.5 hex per T-share. Potentially by 2027, 9 hex per T-share. 2028, 10 hex per T-share. Somewhere in that ballpark. I'm roughly rounding everything as it is right now. But what I like about that is by 2029, for example, we could be looking at 11 hex per T-share. And I mean, that's some damn good numbers if you actually ask me, to get 11 hex per T-share, especially if you can get yourself I don't know, roughly about 10 hex right now, 10 T-shares right now. You know, you start earning roughly about 110 hex per day. Anyways, good numbers ahead. And this is on the this is all on the Pulse Chain network, or the Ethereum network. On the Pulse Chain network, it's roughly about the same right now, right? We're seeing roughly about that payout per T-share, somewhere in the ballpark of about 7.7, 7.4, 7.9. Again, 8 hex per T-share here, right? 9 hex per T-share here. There's going to be days where, you know, people are going to have some panic selling, and this is where you actually see the people who are staked actually get the real benefit of you know, holding on to or getting the reward by actually earning the penalties of people ending their stakes early. So keep all that in mind too. This is actually how it all works. Whoops, not sure why that popped up, but anyways, all right, going back to the chat real quick. We got Wednesday in the house. Absolutely J everything. What's up? Salute Atlantean. Yeah, I cycled 20 miles. That's fire. I've never got into cycling. My buddies have tried getting me in a couple of different times. Has never really piqued my fancy at this point, but maybe one day I shall try, you know, cycling on that too. I'm on the air bike right now. That's dope as heck, man. That's crazy as all can be, y'all. The more it goes down, the bigger the bounce back. Yep. I can see parity with EX and PX. Guido, dude, you're gonna start a whole argument here again. Do you not remember the whole discussion of what happened when Pulse Chain launched? Oh goodness, guys, that was a fantastic time, wasn't it? Everyone's arguing, is it going to reach parity? Is it not going to reach parity? Are we going to do this? Are we not going to do this? Like, everyone didn't know what was going on. Again, just looking at these particular charts here as well. This is that hex versus hex comparison, so you can just kind of see how it all went down. This is, you know, when Pulse Chain first launched type deal, like all the way back over here. Bam, and throw this on log and get rid of that. All right, cool. So you can actually see this is actually exactly how it all went down, right? It was it got pretty damn close to parity, y'all. Like, this is the October time frame when it actually started, you know, rallying up again, and this is when it was, you know, looking pretty damn bullish with the potential parity happening. Again, if it reached this one line right here, which is literally just right here, that was actually reaching parity at that point. So it got pretty damn close. It actually almost essentially got to like 1.92 type deal, right? Or 1 to not 0.92. Saying that some crazy way, but long story short, it was like 8% away. It was 8% away from actually reaching parity, which, I mean, heck, that was kind of what we all believed in the beginning, right? It was like close to parity. Hex on Pulse Chain started outperforming Hex on Ethereum, which is what you saw. People started seeing Hex on Ethereum and they said, dude, I want this thing to reach parity. And it started pumping like crazy. There was some message that happened. Who I don't remember the exact story. I'm sure somebody can go back and tell us what went down during this time. But something was said at this point for Hex on Ethereum to start going lower. Maybe that was the SEC case. I don't remember the exact details as to, you know, what actually went down during this time. But this is where people started kind of freaking out and they're like, oh no, that's getting way too close. And then it kind of pushed the price and suppressed the price again. So this was a box that I had drawn a long time ago, basically saying, hey, that was basically the median, right? I anticipated it to go up. I anticipated it to go down. This is basically that magnet where it was falling. And then you get the March 11th kill tweet. And we all know what happened here. This is that, you know, fucking March 11th kill tweet that went down with the Richard Hart. And, you know, I'm not the biggest fan. Still don't understand why he did it. Anyways, we're all human. We all say certain things, and I'm sure he has his reasons for saying certain things. And now at this point, we're trying to recover. And now we're getting close to this, you know, 1-to-2 ratio again. That was like if it gets up to 0.5 now, right? This 0.5 line right here, that's essentially the 1-to-2 ratio, meaning that if Hex on Pulse Chain is at 5 cents, then Hex on Ethereum would be at 2.5 cents, right? That's the 1-to-2 ratio right here. Definitely something I am paying attention to, but, you know, just kind of seeing how this all plays out. Some people are actually playing this as a trade as well. where, you know, we've basically been on this little ascending wedge right here, the parallel channel right here. We've broken out, we've broken below, and it looks like we're just kind of fighting this little ascending wedge again as resistance. But this is basically that 1 to 4 right here. This is the 1 to 4 line. So this little yellow dotted line that you're seeing right here is basically 1 to 4. And that's basically my new median right now. So if you just look back at kind of like all this time frame as to where it's all been, looks like the median wants to remain around this 1 to 4 time frame. So I can absolutely see it pumping up as well, back up almost damn near to 1 to 2, and then people, you know, having their own little panic sell moment, all that good stuff, and, you know, selling the price back down and bouncing back up and coming back down. And this is kind of like expected to happen. So we'll just have to see how it all plays out. But heck, that just means that if Hex on Pulse Chain ever does one day reach, for example, $2, and we get this 1 to 4 range somewhere in this here, then that would still put us in the ballpark of about $2 for, what did I say? Did I say $10? Did I say $1? $2? I don't even remember what I just said. Just literally forgot. But let me go back and just kind of rephrase that once again. If Hex on Pulse Chain ever were to reach $2 in this example, and we get back to a 1 to 4 range, then that puts us into a 50-cent Hex on Ethereum price point. So pretty damn good stuff. If you have a million Hex, which by the way can get you pretty much a million Hex for pretty darn cheap right now, roughly about $2,300 right now, right? Would get you a million Hex. This would actually lead you to believe, you know, when you get back up to the 50-cent range at a million Hex, that's $500,000. So the numbers get stupid, they get crazy, they get wild. But yeah, that's just a little rough estimate as to how it goes on that one. Someone asked, how's the chart Hex versus WETH? So let me just see if I can find that particular chart real quick and see if it'll load. Hex versus wrapped Ethereum. You know, at this point in time, Ethereum is outperforming Hex on Ethereum, right? This is on a weekly, by the way, so you can just kind of see. Looked like there was a pretty good median all the way back here. We had a pretty good floor support. My guess, kill tweet, you know, that was basically around this time frame where it looks like it was holding this level of support for a while. Hex actually outperformed Ethereum for quite a bit from 2021. This is that whole bull run of actually what went down to October of 2021, somewhere in that ballpark, September of 2021, where Hex actually reached its top at that point. It had a massive outperformance against Ethereum. Ethereum actually started outperforming against Hex. It looks like we were starting to recover and rally against it back in March of 2023. This is actually right at the time Pulse Chain launched, and so you saw quite a bit of excitement come from that launch as well. People were selling, needing to cash out, all that good stuff. We remember all that and how it all went down. If you don't, then, you know, part of history on that one. But that's essentially what went down at this point. And then now, whenever I look at the actual chart against kind of how it's performing at this point in time, really, again, since March of 2023, if you had just gone into Ethereum, you'd actually be up, you know, almost double your money at this point in time. So it's always tough to see how it's all going to play out, but this is kind of what I anticipate happening, where we get choppy for a little bit, and then Hex on Ethereum just absolutely outperforms. Whoops, Hex on Ethereum absolutely outperforms, you know, ETH at that point, right? So whether it's here, I don't know the exact time frame. This doesn't necessarily mean we get back up to the 50-cent range, but let's just say that Ethereum reaches, I don't know, $15,000 is kind of what I've said in the past as well. And we're at this point 004016. So let's just see what that does. $15,000 ETH times 123.416 puts you around 24 cents for what that would look like. Hex on Ethereum would be around 24 cents. Once again, if we maintain this 1 to 4 ratio, that means Hex on Pulse Chain is actually roughly about $1 at that point, by the way. So fun math for you there, just kind of checking it all out, seeing how it all plays out, seeing how it all looks. But this is a quick example as to what could potentially happen with Ethereum reaching 15K, which again, I do believe it will. I've said this already in the past, but you know, if Bitcoin goes up and reaches my estimates of roughly about $242,000 at this point, and we maintain the same ratio as the ETH BTC ratio right here, which is right here, even as it stands right now at 0.03, again, I've done this already in the past, but 240,000 Bitcoin times 0.03498 would put Ethereum roughly around $8,400. And again, just doing some fun math to kind of see what that would look like against Hex on Ethereum would be around 13 cents. So that's just kind of how it all plays out. Me personally, I believe it actually ends up going back up here into this range up here whenever altcoin season really starts, because we're finally starting to see once again that Bitcoin dominance begin to fall. Man, my computer is just feeling a little bit slow today. We're seeing that Bitcoin dominance begin to fall as well. And so if it wants to maintain this ratio or begin to fall around this ratio, especially if we end up dipping down in here, which I do believe we're going to do, just like we've done every cycle before where Bitcoin dominance gets down to roughly around 40% or lower, we go back, we retest 40% or lower, we go back up, we retest 40% or lower. Okay, we've done this so many times already in the past. I don't see why this time would be any different. So if Bitcoin dominance does begin to actually falter and go back down, like this example shows on this particular screen, then that would end up putting the ETH Bitcoin ratio probably up here. And so if you do that same math just for S's and G's, just so that way everyone can kind of say, we did some fun math today and I had some better perspective, and Bitcoin reached $240,000, and you know, we got back up to this 0.076 range up here, somewhere in this range over here. Then that would end up putting Ethereum at $18,240. Again, whenever I do that same math to figure out where the price of Hex on Ethereum would end up falling, if we end up doing kind of a similar pattern, it would be roughly around 30 cents for Hex on Ethereum. Do that same math, 1-to-4 ratio as to where Hex on Pulse Chain could end up going. You're looking at about $1.20 Hex on Pulse Chain. And so yeah, I mean, hopefully some fun math there, right? That would get you for 1 million Hex on Pulse Chain and 1 million Hex on Ethereum, at $1.20 and 30 cents over on Ethereum side, would be roughly about $1.5 million, which, you know, that's some good money, y'all. That's some damn good money. And maybe you can stack even more, because prices are down a little bit lower, today, right? And so hopefully that gives some clarity or some insights as to what I could potentially see happening with these particular tokens. Whoops, that's not the chart I was looking for. That's not what I clicked. ETH. I don't even remember where I was just moments ago. ETH Bitcoin. Okay, that's where I was. Nope, that's the ETH dominance. ETH Bitcoin. There we go. I want to get rid of this little drawing I just did just moments ago, so that way I don't forget. Anyways, that kind of gives everyone some ideas as to what is going on right there. Let's see what's happening with the chat once again. Say hello to some beautiful people. But yeah, Guido, that was a fun conversation. That led me down many rabbit holes on that one. So that was fun, man. Appreciate the chat. Cookie de Chocolate says, I'm quite numb as far as my crypto emotions are concerned. LOL, that's what this bear market has taught me. Yeah, dude, the bear market has been freaking brutal, right? I mean, it's been brutal for sure, but it's definitely part of how it all ends up working as well. But damn, I mean, looking at what we've actually got going on and what's actually happening, and you know, looking at these prices and all that good stuff, like, you like some pain, right? Like, here's some pain for you right here, right? Well, like, I mean, even on the charts that you're seeing, roughly around 3.4% down for the day on PulseX, 2% down on Pulse. You know, 40s45, 40s23, or 40s27. You know, Ink is back at $1.50 right now. Hex is back at 1.2 cents right now. Seems to be holding pretty damn strong at this 1 cent level. So hopefully we can maintain that on the ratio over here. Whoops, you can't even see it, but the ratio right now for Hex to eHex is roughly about 1 to 5.5. We just saw that on the chart moments ago. So yeah, it's been quite some time as well, looking at how this has all ended up playing out as well. We got 1.186 trillion PulseX burnt right here. So again, looking at that, whoops, you can't even see it because of the chat. But looking at that right there, right, 1.19 trillion PulseX has already been burned, never to be seen again, right? And so, you know, excluding the OA, that's you know, almost 6% of the overall total supply that's out there right now. That's pretty damn good, y'all. Pretty damn good. Checking it out. Anyways, that's one of the benefits as prices actually remain lower for longer. You actually end up getting more PulseX burn, right? Because it just does it based on the volume that happened that particular day. And then it decides it goes through and automatically calculates how much to buy on the open market and then burn, right? And so if prices were higher because of the way volume works and prices work and this burn mechanism, buy and burn mechanism works, you would actually end up buying less because, again, prices are higher. So if it did million volume that day, for example, but prices are all the way back up above SAC, you would actually end up only getting about 5% or roughly around 25% of what you would actually be buying and burning today. So the lower the prices are, the better for the buy and burn to actually burn more of the supply, which is beneficial for us all, especially on a deflationary token. The more that can be burned in the long run, the better it is for all of us, right? Hopefully that makes some sense. Don't look and keep DCAing. Facts on facts. What up, Crypto Wonder? Guys, go subscribe to Crypto Wonder as well. Dropping great work, guys. All that good stuff. Dropping all the gems and, you know, sharing probably how some of y'all are feeling as well. So if y'all haven't checked out his streams, definitely go give it a look and subscribe to my boy as well. What's up, bro? Always good to catch you live. Good to catch you live as well. I think we're waiting for Bitcoin. The rest will follow. All right. Everyone should have a small amount of Bitcoin. There you go. Crypto Wonder Podcast. Appreciate you. Get paid every day in Hex. I'm happy. Yeah, dude. Every single day. ATX with the original alpha. Appreciate that. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate so much love. Site hasn't been updated in a few days. What site? What site hasn't been updated? Was that GoPulse? I assume. That was for 1/6 of 2025 and 1/3 of 2025. Interesting. Okay. Well, let's go and check out this other chart here, and see if we can find some more different charts as well, to actually be showing it once again. This one is updated today. Yeah, I think Hex Daily Stats not updated. Yeah, it's interesting, right? Appreciate you. So yeah, I mean, this is like checking it out right here, right? So like just sharing this on the screen again. This is hexstats.com. I'm not a fan of Gold Key by any means. Anyways, I don't need to get into my personal feelings about it. This is a cool website. I'll give some, you know, props where it is right here. But you can see, you know, who's staking, who's not staking, and all that good stuff as well. Who's ending some stakes, and heck, if you're wanting to see some of this stuff, you're welcome to go check it out too on hexstats.com. So you can actually go back and look at this. But today's current T-share payout on the Pulse chain side is 7.36. Payout per T-share over here on the Ethereum side, sitting roughly about 7.46. Payout per T-share overall as well. So again, looking at that, pretty damn good stuff. Checking it all out to see how it all ends up working. Again, you can actually see both the T-share prices up here. I'm assuming this is the actual price for Pulse Chain Hex and for Ethereum Hex. So you can just kind of see how they're doing against each other. We got so close to this 1-to-1 parity, man, all the way back here. You know, it was doing pretty damn good when, of course, Pulse Chain first launched. That was that May time frame, and then you get into October. I believe this is actually the October date right here. We got damn close to this 1-to-1 parity, man. It was super close on that one, and you know, hey, close enough is what it is. But maybe, like Guido said, maybe we get back to a day where the price is actually matching overall too. This is actually this is actually the Hex stats, or app.hex.com. So let me just go apphex.win is what I meant to say. Another website you can actually see to check it all out once again. Okay, cool. So to get one T-share right now, it's going to cost you about $91 right now to get one T-share over on the Ethereum network. On the Pulse Chain network, it's going to be roughly about $500 dollars to actually get that too, right? So y'all can kind of see it overall and check out how it all looks. Let's just make this a little bit more pink today right now. Maybe it is pink. Again, I'm not exactly sure. Y'all got to help me on colors. I'm colorblind, semi-colorblind. I don't need to get into the details on that one. But anyways, y'all kind of get what I'm talking about. We got Pulse Chain Hex over here. Again, to get one T-share would cost you roughly about $500 on Pulse Chain. To get one T-share on the Ethereum network, roughly about $91. And again, if y'all go and stake out for 10 years or longer, divide that number by 3 because of the way the multiple works. So you get 10% additional T-share, and you actually have to pay 10% less for your Hex if you just stake it out for every single 1 year up to 10 years, right? And so if you actually go out to a 10-year mark, you actually get a 3x difference. So it costs you $30 right now today to get a T-share staked out for 10 years or longer on the Ethereum network. by the way. And it would cost you roughly, what is 500 divided by 3? 125, 175? What is that number? Somewhere in that ballpark. 500 divided by 3. Yeah, 166. All right, cool. I was close. I was close enough. I'll take it. So 166 to get a T-share staked out for 10 years or longer on the Pulse Chain network. So pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff, y'all. Pretty cool stuff. And I meant to say 20%, by the way. So if you actually just go to stakehex.today, you can actually pull up some of these items yourself. If you ever just wanted to type in some of this stuff and say, how much could I get if I went and did XYZ, right? And so like, let's just go back to the main website right here, stakehex.today. You can actually see, again, this would get you roughly in the overall terms for 10 years, which is roughly about 36.50. I'm just kind of like keeping it simple overall for the 10-year mark. And again, $30 in USD terms would get you pretty darn close. Okay, whoops. What's wrong with my math here? I just looked at it moments ago. Was the math wrong on the website just moments ago? Oh, this is pulling up Pulse Chain. No, that's Hex. That's on Ethereum. What am I doing? $100 would give me 1.64. $80, 1.3, $70, 1.15, $60. All right, pretty darn close. So we're gonna say $65. $65 gets you one T-share taken out for $36.50 overall on that one, or you can go out to the $55.55 mark, which also grants you that same thing. I've showed this in the past of what it could potentially be, but that's 14,000 hex today to get that done. Again, or if you go, 1 year or lower, it's going to cost you roughly about 39,000 hex overall to get that done. And to see what could potentially be overall, y'all, again, I've pulled these numbers up before, but $65 today could potentially be $74,000 in the future. Not financial advice. Who really knows? Or it could be $88,000 in the future. Who really knows how it's all going to end up playing out? But it's a risk that I'm willing to take myself overall. Again, this is somewhere in the ballpark of about $1 hex as well as kind of what I did for this one. And this is actually going all the way up to $3 or $13 all the way up here and then lower. But again, guys, you can play around with some of this stuff and say, hey, maybe we don't reach $1 by 2025, maybe it's by 2029, and by that point in time, who really knows? And you can just kind of see how it all ends up playing out. Still $177,000 could be had, because again, that payout per T-share is going to keep on going up. So remember I told you it's 7.5 hex per T-share right now, right? Eventually it's going to be 9.1, and eventually it's going to be 13 hex per T-share. So these are potential possible numbers, guys, but hey, that's just my own personal opinion as to how this all ends up playing out. Anyways, I hope that gives some clarity on that again. Yeah, again, we just pulled out the hex against the ETH chart as well, Archie, so hopefully that helps make some sense. Hope the predictions come to pass soon, for sure, man. Again, like, that's what I've always said, like, it's one of those, you're gonna get the price right, you're gonna get the time wrong, right? And so you could say it's going to reach certain numbers one day, especially for something that's going to be here in the future. Like we can say Bitcoin's going to be $1 million. Will it be $1 million this cycle? I'm not calling that. Could it be $1 million next cycle? I don't know. It could potentially be. Could it be $1 million by 2035? It's very likely that it very could be. You know what I mean? So in that situation, it's all a matter of, how it's all going to end up playing out and looking like as well. But people have absolutely been liquidated. There's again, roughly about another $600 million who just got liquidated in the last 24 hours as well. Like, people are playing around and they're going to be burned on this one, y'all. So they're playing with fire right now. They went long. A lot of people went long, especially if we just look at, basically like maybe, how Bitcoin did. There was $135 million liquidated in Bitcoin because they all went long, guys. They started seeing Bitcoin reach that $100,000 mark, and they're like, well, I want to go long. I'm long. I'm bullish, guys. Let's bring it. And then the market absolutely smacked every single one of those people. One of the fastest way the market likes to do that is by, getting rid of the actual, leverage traders as well. So Bitcoin reaching 93,000. I'm not going to say that was something that we talked about. And I wouldn't be surprised if it ever came back down to 70,000. I know that would absolutely be brutal for the market. I'm saying that right now. If it ever dipped down to this range again, That would be ultra freaking brutal, guys. Again, this is that whole 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave move right here. Typically, when you get a 5 wave impulse move like that, you actually end up getting a 3 wave down. So you end up going A, B, C down, and then comes back down and like retests that area again before it does the next impulse wave up again. Dude, that would be absolutely brutal if something like that was to happen for so many people. But it's definitely a possibility, right? We could see an ABC correction only down here, but you could see another ABC correction back down again as well. So pay attention to what could potentially be. And the reason why I say 70,000 isn't too far out of the question, because remember when I told you at the very beginning of the stream, oftentimes during a bull run, and we'll just, this is on a weekly right here. Okay, cool. This is on a weekly right here. So oftentimes during a bull run, let me just zoom all the way in just so y'all can maybe see things a little bit easier. This is going all the way back to 2013, by the way, as well, right? So now we're back in 2013. 2013 was a pretty damn good bullish year, right? For a weekly chart, that's pretty damn bullish. There were a few times it did some dips as well, but it got recovered pretty darn fast. But again, that was a 30% dip back then as well. It's tough to pull up the actual, bear scenario over here. Another 30% dip right there, and then it actually ended up kind of peaking out right around that time with the 70% dip in the bear market. But let's go to 2017. This makes a lot more sense because a lot more people knew about it at that point in time. A lot more people were getting in to crypto at this point in time. A lot, especially with the whole Bitcoin split, with the whole Bitcoin Cash split, with the whole Ethereum mania starting to happen. This is what 2017 looked like. So it actually started off in January with a 30% dip, 32% dip, right? This is actually essentially in 7 days, right? By mid-January, we started rallying up again. And could we see something like this happening all over again? Abso-freaking-lutely, y'all. Like, this is absolutely possible. But the reason why I say a 30% dip, that was a 34% dip. That was one 34% dip overall. Okay, the next one actually came down all the way to a 34% dip again. This is already during a bull run, y'all. This is 2017, one of the most bullish years for the actual crypto cycle as well. Followed by another, when you actually get into the ballpark of it here, 23% dip once again. Followed by, this is that kind of candle wick that I'm seeing form right now. It's called the Twin Towers. For reasons that kind of say like the market likes to dip after that twin tower formation. So this is basically like looking at it from that perspective. Again, it fell 30%, 38% right here, right? And then it kind of goes back up. We're still in 2017, by the way, another 40% dip. Oftentimes when dips actually happen, they can go down roughly about 30%. And this oftentimes happens 6 times during an actual crypto market, right? And this is all during 2017. And during that entire time, if you were to go back and buy any of these dips that it came down to, whether it be here, whether it be here, or whether it be here, it doesn't really matter. If you just bought any of those dips during that time for those 30% corrections, you absolutely made off like a freaking bandit by the time it got all the way up to the top. Because again, that was an absolutely bullish move. So if we go to where we are today in 2021, let's just kind of zoom forward once again a little bit further so y'all can kind of see this same thing play out once again. 2020 kind of started all the way back over here, 2020 back over here, boom. And we actually had a pretty good bullish December, but guess what? January followed by 30% dip. I mean, heck, even 31% dip on that one. This is all in January, by the way, y'all. Again, 2021. So this actually just recently happened, all the way followed by some nice bullish momentum that actually ended up happening all the way over here, leading us into that March timeframe, hitting that first top, followed by the second top in 2021. But these were actual dips that have happened, followed by this dip right here, and almost damn near a 30% dip. Followed by, guess what? You already guessed it, damn near a 30% dip again. That was a 23% dip on that one. I guess I'll pull up this one. 27% dip overall. And then it was a massive sell in May, go away. Like that actually went down, and they saw a 52% dip. Kind of crashed the whole market. Everyone started freaking out. They didn't really know. We had, global pandemic going on, mass hysteria, people getting condoned and condemned to their houses and forced to stay inside, and people fighting that whole battle. But guess what? It started rallying once again. And when that rally kicked off and started going once again, well, it was followed by a 25% dip, followed by another 15% dip here. So dips absolutely happen. And guys, if you took advantage of any of those dips, I'm promising you, you're pretty damn happy when you start seeing these numbers up here. So where does that lead us today? Well, guys, we're in 2025 right now. We're starting off the first week in January with the red candle. Again, you got to see the end of December all the way over here. The red candle in December and January followed right here. This is kind of that twin tower setup that I'm seeing. The twin tower typically is followed by a bearish pattern coming up. So if I'm looking at it from what history has told us, I've showed you already on the chart what a twin tower pattern looks like. It's these two candles right next to each other, one green, one red. And if it's going down on this one for the red on the right, it tends to actually be a bullish, or I'm sorry, a bearish move as well, right? You can do the same little pattern right here for the two candles overall. When it actually ends up being a green on the right, it tends to actually be bullish. Yeah, there was some redness, some, you know, sideways consolidation, but that was actually that bullish move. So when I'm looking at this, I'm looking at this from more of a standpoint of the weekly is kind of saying, guys, we might go lower. And with Bitcoin, there isn't anything here. There's nothing to retest. Like, yeah, there's some support levels to go back and see how the weekly kind of closed around these levels, but there wasn't much to kind of fill in. And so I can absolutely see a 30% dip. This would not surprise me. This is a 33% dip. It would not surprise me. Could we see it? I don't know. We only saw one dip of 30% or more in 2024, right? This is the only dip that happened in 2024 that was a 30% dip. All these other ones were 15, 20%, 18%. Nothing was really crazy. There was only one 30% dip that happened in 2024. So could we go and see a 30% dip in January? Sure. Like, it's not, I'm not saying it's not possible, you know, but I'm just saying, like, the market tends to want to not go down 30% anymore. And so we've already hit that 15% dip that we talked about at the beginning of the stream. It's all a 15% dip already. Could it go down to a 15-20% dip? Absolutely, right? And so if we end up around the 20% dip, that puts us in the $86,000, $87,000 range for Bitcoin. Thereby, Ethereum's going to probably end up dipping down once again as well, because if you just pull up that same math as it's been already, 86,000 times 0.03, it's going to be around $3,100 for Ethereum right there, right? And so, like, just a heads up, guys, get ready, because if you're wanting to, you know, whether it be scooping some bags of Ethereum, or whether it be just ready to recoup some of that capital, or whether it be just, you know, buy the dip, this is absolutely a possibility to actually end up seeing something like this happen. So keeping all this in mind, I would say Ethereum dipping down to around $3,100 is a potential. We got a lot of support around that range as well. So if I just kind of draw a little horizontal line, you can see a lot of support around this range, 3,100. Let me just kind of go up a little bit. We have more range. We actually have more support around the 3K range, right? So if I just pull it up around 3K, this is actually more support right in that range right there, where we've retested it multiple times, held it as a level of support, retested once again, held it, couldn't hold it, bounced through, bounced way past that, it actually held that support, and then just kind of off to the races. So if I see a dip happening, I could potentially see it going down, retesting out this 30K range. Again, if Bitcoin was to end up dropping down to 70K, well, that's just going to be blood in the streets for everyone, and we would actually see Ethereum all the way back and retesting levels such as $2,000 as well. So keep that in mind. It would be a pretty crazy time. It's going to fill in all of this down below if Bitcoin was to go down that low. Do I see that happening? No, I really don't, guys. I really don't. We got about another 12 days before Trump gets in office. I think a lot of people really start getting very bullish at that time as well. Again, like, if I'm looking at all these charts right here, right? Like, this is Binance right here. It's done some crazy stuff already, sure, right? It kind of started breaking through some previous all-time highs from what you can see. But like, that's one of the very few charts that kind of look a little bit more bullish. And Binance, I'm a little bit mixed emotions about, because CZ is kind of a prick, and you know, he ends up actually using capital to buy his own tokens, and we've seen that, and he actually got in trouble with the feds, went to jail, you know, had to spend 4 months there, got out, and he's back again. And so now I'm not surprised to see Binance doing good once again. These are, you know, just looking at like Polygon and seeing how that is. Polygon still hasn't hit its previous all-time high, right? Looking at Solana, it's another token that has actually outperformed and started actually breaking its all-time high again, but it didn't really actually get crazy with it. It didn't really do anything crazy at all, in my personal opinion, at this point in time, right? And so when I'm looking at all these charts, I'm just not seeing anything that's telling me like, you're about to miss the freaking moon race right now. It's about to happen. Like, Avalanche still hasn't hit its previous all-time high again. looking at all of these charts right here, guys, I'm not seeing anything that's like, damn, we're in a freaking bull run and everything is going crazy. Like, I just don't see that. Cardano is still down from its previous all-time high as well. Just looking back over here from, you know, that time frame, down 70% still right now. I didn't even quite get that particular candle, but yeah, down 72% right now at this point in time. You know, I'm just not seeing the bull run rally that's happened just yet. Dogecoin still hasn't hit its previous all-time high as well of 79 cents. So again, like if I'm looking at these particular charts, still down 56% right now in this little range, I'm just not seeing anything that's like, man, I know we're down in prices. Like looking at these charts, like I'm seeing the same chart y'all are. Right, like I said, this is the kill tweet day right here, and we saw what happened to the market and the ecosystem after the kill tweet and pulse chain. Definitely not a fan of this kill tweet because of what it did to the actual overall prices. We were on a massive rally to a what I would consider massive upside as well. And so if you're looking at this, right, we had the we had the first wave, we had the third wave, we had a fifth wave, and that was going to be followed typically by an ABC correction. Like I would expect a correction at that point in time. Instead of a correction, it got massively slaughtered, right? We saw what happened on the kill tweet day right there. So looking at where we've already fallen as well, I've pulled this up on the charts as well for pulse chain. We have a lot of people trading based on emotions right now, whether that be this could be potentially because of, you know, the Interpol news, whether it be because of the SEC lack of news, whether it be people are just freaking out because they, you know, have overly invested, or things just haven't taken off like they expected, and so they need the capital right now. There's a lot of emotions happening right now in this ecosystem for, you know, this all to be showing up right now. But what I'm seeing is we've already hit my first, second, and third buying prices that I would be buying the dip with. So again, I took advantage of this. I don't know if y'all did, but this is what I said. If you ended up going in and buying any of these prices, this would be the first price I would be looking at getting in, second price with the capital that you have sitting on the side, and then third price that I would say, hey, this could be potentially the low right here. Now, I'm not saying that it doesn't go lower. I'm not saying that, but if I was to make this purchase right here, I'm going to be happy with this purchase right here, and I'm not going to be waiting for this purchase down here. So often do people end up waiting so long that they end up being paralyzed by the analysis by paralysis, where they say, I'm gonna buy back in when it dips here, and then it dips here, and they're like, I'm just gonna wait till it dips a little lower, and then it dips a little lower, and then I'm just gonna wait till it dips a little lower, and eventually, you know, even though this was the price that you said you were gonna buy at, you don't buy, and now the prices start rallying back up again. And so again, I'm not mad whenever I get some of these prices right here, folks. I'm really not, because right now it looks like we're essentially filling in a wick right now. Like we had this wick. This was the Interpol FUD, which, by the way, why did y'all freak out so much over this, guys? Like, who fucking cares what happens to RH, man? Like, in all reality, like this massive news, y'all freaked out more over this than you did over the SEC news, than you did over any other news previously. This was a freak. Even the March 11th tweet right here, even this kill tweet right here, this dip that happened, it took 189 days for an 84% dip. Y'all damn near did that in the span of like 14 days. Like, freaked out. Like, it is way overreacted. This is why I think way too many people are emotionally invested right now, and it is what it is. But hey, if people want to be emotionally invested, that's all cool. Or if they want to react based on emotions, that's all cool. But that's what leads me to believe that we might end up kind of closing out this wick right here. So what I would say is, again, like if you have some dry powder available, maybe you scoop in some here, right? 30% of your bag, maybe get in some here, 30% of your bag, and then just buy that bag right here. No harm in doing that right there. Does it go lower? I don't know, right? We got to see what Bitcoin does and the rest of the market does. And what kind of scares me right now is I kind of wish we almost got the SEC news at the same time we got this news. That way it's just all lumped in together, and it kind of makes sense as to why people are panicking. Because what if the case doesn't get dismissed and we go to court? We've already seen we got way too many people emotionally reactive to stuff right here. People are absolutely going to sell. It's going to be part of the thing. So I would loved if people had just kind of reacted already. But clearly they haven't reacted. And so what kind of scares me is that we get news that isn't as favorable as maybe you want it to be. Maybe we get a partial dismissal, and it's just a partial dismissal against Hex, but Pulse Chain and Pulse X remain. And then people are like, oh, fucking sell. And they just fucking freak out again. It could happen, guys. Maybe we get a full dismissal. And if that's the case, we just start seeing prices recover again. I don't know, right? Like, but clearly people are way overreacting to way too much news at this point in time. PulseX, we actually ended up hitting 2 of my targets so far. We haven't hit my 3rd target just yet. So I drew these on my last stream that I did with y'all. This is basically the first price target that I said, hey, this is where you'd be looking to deploy some capital, the second capital, and then the remaining capital. If you had some capital available, and again, if we're going to be filling in some wicks right here, well, this could actually end up being that kind of final capital right there. If we are going to go close some wicks right here, which is right now currently sitting at 4023, somewhere in that ballpark would end up being where I would end up seeing the final close wick to happen. And then what really happens from there, we just have to really wait and see how it all is going to be seen. Hex on Pulse Chain, sitting at 1.2 cents right now. Hexo decided to kill the price the other day. You know, from his stream, Richard Hart is arrested. What now? Oh, that shit had me laughing. Anyways, that shit had me laughing. People fucking freaked out over his clickbait title, and of course he says what if, and he had to change it for everyone. Anyways, that was kind of comical. But hey, if we end up getting a closed wick down here, it's going to be below a penny. That would actually shock me, not gonna lie. It would. I don't know why I'd say it shocked me. I guess nothing should shock me anymore with how the community has done the price so far at this point. I mean, we saw what happened with the kill tweet again. We've already seen what can potentially happen. This is, you know, the September FUD that ended up kind of coming around again. This was kind of that like September FUD. If you don't remember, that was actually the first Interpol notice down there was in September. So people sold, people bought back up. They're like, oh, it's nothing. It doesn't matter if Richard Hart is arrested. It doesn't matter if Richard Hart is avoiding taxes. Like, who gives 2 Fs, because it doesn't affect the crypto. So it would actually end up putting a price all the way over here, right? And so that would kind of show us where it end up being. Again, if I was to be pulling up some particular prices as to, you know, where I'd be looking to deploy some capital, keeping it simple right now, it would be already a portion deployed right here. So like just kind of drawing this out right now, it would be a portion. Whoops, not right there. It'd be a portion deployed right here at this 786, which is 1.35. It would be the next portion deployed roughly around this, right above the 886. Again, you always do it right above. You never want to wait until it actually hits. Just take advantage. Just if you're taking profits in the same way, just take advantage of taking profit. You don't actually have to take profit at the 618. Take a profit a little bit before, for example. You can kind of see how that would work out. And then if we do end up getting that final wick closure right there, it would be right above that, you know, 2 zeros and a 9. We've been holding a penny darn pretty strong at this point. Again, we kind of wicked down below it for, I mean, just like a fraction of a second right here, right? That was kind of like some little like see if we could, and then it wicked back up pretty darn fast on that particular candle day right there. So yeah, whenever I'm seeing kind of how that would actually all end up looking, that's kind of my hex price analysis right now. Until I start seeing us break through some actual higher highs and start making higher lows again, I'm not flipping to bullish just yet. Because again, I've seen this already where it's kind of a fake out, where it's like the false optimism right here, where we end up kind of believing we're going to get a rally, but we don't break previous, you know, local high at this point in time. And because we didn't break previous local high, we actually had a higher low right here and potentially a higher low right here, but it couldn't quite hold that, and it actually fell down below, and you can see what happened there. So because until we actually see something like that actually happening, this is kind of how I would play it out. It would be somewhere in the ballpark of like this. It would look like, you know, where again, a low has been formed, a higher high has been formed, a higher low was formed, a higher high was formed all the way up here, a higher low was formed, a higher high. That's very bullish. That is very bullish if I saw something like that. And that was all in September, November, all in that little October time frame as well. Pretty not too long ago, really not too long ago. Damn near got up to 3 cents. Actually, it did hit 3 cents. We really started rallying, doing pretty damn good if you ask me. And then we got the little news of what happened. Y'all already know it went down. Everyone freaks out. Everyone has little emotions and all that good stuff. But until I start seeing these charts actually form a higher candle than this one over here, so again, until it gets back really above 2 cents, I'm not really flipping bullish, right? I mean, might be able to get a little bit higher than this one, and I might feel a little bit like more emotions where we can start forming that low right here, beginning of a higher low, beginning of a higher high, beginning of a higher low, and now we start breaking 2 cents again, higher high. That would be bullish. Yes, I would start saying that was some bullish structure, but until we start breaking like really 1.7 cents, I'm not flipping bullish just yet until we start breaking really 2 cents. I'm really not flipping bullish yet because I really want to see this thing start going. Right now it's kind of this, we're gonna have some fake rallies, some fake optimism. Don't get me wrong, would love it, but if we don't break this previous candle right here, it's likely that we end up going lower and we actually end up keeping this lower low going, right? And then it goes back up. We don't break this previous level right here, it ends up going lower right here. We end up forming a lower low, a lower high, a lower high, and a lower low. This is kind of what this is what the charts are showing me right now. Like, as much as I want to be mega perma bullish right now, guys, I really freaking would love to see some green candles, because damn, dude, green candles make everyone feel so much better. Like, y'all remember what that was like in September? Y'all? I do. Do y'all remember what that was like in October and November? I do. That was pretty damn fun, y'all. That was a pretty damn good time. Everyone started talking about portfolio again, right? Keeping that in mind. Appreciate the subscribe as well. Much love to the subscription. So this is one of those that, like, it really had me going. Appreciate the subscribe, my guys. I gotta make that a little bit easier so I can see it. Let me see if I can increase the size of that, because I want to be able to see it a little bit better. So let's just let's just make it bigger. Why not? Bigger is always better, is what they say. Bigger is better. That's what the ladies tell me, at least. Bigger's better, y'all. Anyways, yes, guys. This is just looking at it from a brief analysis at this point in time. Once again, coming back over here to Hex from Ethereum, we've already fallen below our trend line right now, so this kind of leads me to believe we're closing a wick. I've talked about this already on the previous 3 charts already. It looks like we are going to be closing that wick already. We already have that bearish trajectory already happening. We have fallen below our trend line that we were actually formed in September. So we were holding this trend line pretty darn good. Again, it bounced below for a little bit, but we recovered. Bounced below for a little bit, but we recovered. So I actually kept this trend line up, saying we're good on that trend line right now. But as it stands overall, just looking at it from here, unless we have a massive weekly close, which, by the way, today's Wednesday. Speaking of, it is Wednesday, my dudes.
It is Wednesday, my dudes. Wednesday. Wednesday, my dudes. Wednesday.
It is Wednesday, my dudes. It is, man. Appreciate all the likes, all the subscribes, all the good stuff that has been happening, that y'all been blessing me with. 2025 is tuned and primed to be a very bullish year. Looking at this EHEX chart once again, I need to see some bullish candles to really start flipping this trajectory. Now that we actually fell below, whether we get a weekly close, this is now going to become resistance right at the 0028 line, right? So anytime you start breaking through, that trend line now becomes a resistance line as well. So we're going to close down below. And I've already kind of pulled up, where the fib can be on this one, but, might as well just kind of see once again what we're looking at real quick, just so that way everyone has an idea for prices as to where I would be looking at. This is one of the prices that I would be looking to be deploying some capital, right? The 786 line. The next price I would be looking at right above this level right here, which is really the 886 line. And, that would be well below the wick already. So we've already fallen below one of my price projections, or, I would be buying at the 702. We've already fallen below that point, right? So if I'm looking just kind of from a standpoint of where to deploy some capital, well, I'd be deploying some already at this point. If you were to be looking to be buying these particular tokens, and it's just to go ahead and take advantage. I'll just leave that up there just next time I stream, just so that way y'all can see if we end up coming back down and retesting out some of these prices, how it all ends up looking. But down here you get a million hex per 0.001. So does it get that low? I don't know, right? This is where you end up kind of getting into the ballpark over there. That was a crazy time, and hopefully some people actually I knew took advantage of this price all the way down here. You got $1,000, got you a million hex down here. They absolutely scooped that up real quick. So congrats to them, right? Because it was cheap. Even right now, it still costs roughly around $2,300 to get a million hex on Ethereum, and then you stake that sucker out 15 years and just live life and worries about the prices later. So let me go through the chat, say hello, some good stuff. What's up at Wild SJ? You have upped your game so hard. Looks great, sound great, well done, appreciate you. Jason Smith in the house. Hex daily stats. Yeah, stakehex.today is only ETH Hex. Hope they can do PHEX too. Yeah, that'd be cool if they can, man, for sure. There was another website that I used to go to. I think it was like Pink Hex or something. Don't quote me. Maybe you go to it and it's like some crazy porn website or something like that. I don't know if it is. I don't remember what it was, but it had some pretty cool stuff that you can actually do for charting as well, or for stakes as well. Good TA, my guy. Appreciate you, coin investors. Shout out to you. AOKG. Well, let's go. It doesn't matter. Hex and Pulse Chain can't be stopped. That is fact. Stay strong. Great TA, brother. New sub here. Appreciate you, Berkshire Meats on X. Absolutely. Appreciate the subscription, my friend. EHEX, Hex, PHEX, T-shares will melt faces. I 100% agree to that as well. That was a funny stream with Hexo, for sure, for sure. People absolutely gave him so much shit for that too. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. Love your work, ATX. Appreciate you. Nixie in the house. Nice work. We got Chaztown in the house. Berkshire Meat says Hex Scout. Can't stake EHEX. Okay, cool. You always just go to like app.icosa.pro if you ever want to stake, or just go to, go.hex.com. Hex Calc is the other one. Thank you, RGS. That was let me just pull that up right here just so I have it already saved. Hex Calc, Wind Moon. That was a fantastic question, right? I think that's a question all of us want answers to right there. Wind Moon, my friend. 6 to 12 months. And again, depends on when you actually consider the moon. ATX, the GOAT streamer. Appreciate Crypto Chronicles. SoFlow Life says Wind Moon. Not having fun, my dude. Yeah, dude, I feel you. I feel you, man. I feel you. It sucks on the red, dude. This is just looking at it from, look at the overall. We're in a sea of red right now, guys. Like, this isn't just coming from our ecosystem of Pulse Chain. Like, I have a little app on my phone that tells me like minus 10% EHEX today, minus 10% EHEX today. I'm like, fucking stop, EHEX. Stop it. Just go the other direction, please. Please. You not sold ATX? No, bro, I ain't sold. I took profit, back when it was pumping. I shared everyone in my Patreon as well when it was pumping, take some profit. That was back in the day. Just recently, I missed the most recent one because I didn't really feel like it was the right time to be taking profit, but we got to see what happened, and now we're down 50-60% because of some stupid freaking FUD noise that everyone just absolutely got emotional on. So anyways, I definitely agree on taking profit. But guys, look at this real fast. Like, this is what crypto looks like right now. This is how it looks. It is brutal. I can just keep going. Let me just hide myself for a second. Brutal, guys. Red, sea of red everywhere. Just the sea of red, whether it be 10% down, 14% down, so many percent down. It just keeps going. The sea of red. It just never ends. And that's kind of what it looks like right now overall, guys. This is kind of how it looks. And, it is what it is right now, but to be expected almost at the same time, guys. To be expected. Market are correcting back to the 78.6. Yeah, dude. Pulse Chain just moved first. It's a blessing in disguise. Hopefully. Appreciate that. But guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna end the stream. I hope everyone, as always, has a fantastic day. Keep your heads held high. Like the channel, or like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Share it out to some people who need some good insight and information, and maybe just a good pick me up. Be back on the next Wednesday to have some fun streaming with y'all. Appreciate all the love, and yeah, catch you on the next one, y'all. Peace.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain, I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints, money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague, we all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name, all our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be.